everyone, it's Christmas tree time of year. Okay, so anyway, last time I spoke to y'all, I told you that I was going to tell you how to get rid of snake mites. Your first step is to figure out if you have snake mites. The easiest way to do this is to go to the tops of their cages around like where the lid would sit on it and look in the corners. And what you'll see, it's like a white, dusty, powdery residue on it. That's your first clue. Then look at their water bowl. If you see little specks in there, it's not all the time that's the mites, because it could be, if you use coconut bark, it could be some of that in the water. But the third step would be to actually check your snake. If you're handling your snake and when you take your hand off them, if you look at your hand and you have like little black dots, probably the size of like a pin dot, if you have those on your hand and you squish them, blood will come out. You have mites. It's there. I mean, I don't know if it's a bad case. You don't really know until you really start searching the snake really well. So your first step is going to be to remove the snake from the cage. And once you do that, you should use a clear Rubbermaid container and put them in there, and this is going to be a 3-day process. So the first thing you're going to do is take them out. You're going to use olive oil. Not canola, not vegetable, because those will hurt your snake. You have to use extra virgin olive oil. Pour some in your hand. Don't like fill your hand up. Just pour some in it, and you're going to rub it down the snake's whole body, not including their head. Don't put it on their head, because they'll get some on their head when they're in that Tupperware with it on them. You're going to leave this olive oil on them for the entire 3 days they're in that Rubbermaid. So for the first day, you're going to rub it all over their body, and you're going to put them in that container, which always put a heating pad under it, medium heat, and then check the temperature in there, because they have to have some kind of heat for those 3 days. So after you've done that, spray a little bit of water in there just to give them some humidity, and then you're done. You're done with that part. The next part, you're going to take everything out of their cage. Bedding, water bowls, any kind of driftwood, anything you may have in there, everything. Take the screens off the top, take the lamps off, everything. Now with the cage, on the first day after you take them out, you're going to bleach the cage down. Maybe a cap full of bleach to a gallon of water. I have a spray bottle, which I sometimes use for cleaning too, and I normally just spray it in there. Take a paper towel, wipe everything down, and you might have to repeat this process twice. It depends, because some beddings leave the cages looking dirty. You want to get this cage as clean as you possibly can. So do that on the first day. The next day, what you're going to do is you're going to use Dawn soap, like the liquid dishwashing detergent. You're going to use that, and you're going to do the same thing basically. I normally just put some in the bottom, spray some water, mix it around with a paper towel, make sure I wipe everything down good. That's day 2. So after day 2, normally by this time it should be pretty much cleared up, but since mites, they kind of have like a little cycle going on with them, so you have to clean this cage for like 3 days. On the 3rd day, if you look in the corners and you don't see any of that residue or anything, this is when you can just wipe it down with water. Next step is to take just a regular white paper towel, line the bottom of the cage. Don't put anything in it yet. You can put a water bowl, and that's it. Don't put anything else. No bedding, no driftwood, nothing. So after you do that, you can put the snake back in, but you have to make sure you clean it out really well with that water, because you don't want any bleach residue left in there. So after that, put the snake back in there. That's after day 3. Once you put the snake in there, watch it for, I would say, 5 days. Watch it really closely. Look at the paper towels really closely. Take it out, handle it. Make sure that there's no more mites, because if there is, then you have to repeat this whole process again. When you take the snake out of the Rubbermaid container, you can put them in like a bathtub just to get some of the extra oil off them. It's not going to hurt them or anything, but then put them in the cage. So after you've gone like 5 days and you don't see any little black dots on them, in the water, on the paper towel, nothing, then you're good to put everything back and it's all good. But if you have more than one snake, you have to do this with all of them, so it can get expensive, basically just throwing away their bedding. So after that, you should be good. You shouldn't have a problem. Most people get mites because maybe somebody you know works in a pet shop and handles reptiles, and then they come to your house and then they touch your snake and they didn't decontaminate themselves well enough, then your snakes get it. They could get it from a plant. Like me, I set a fern or something on top of their cage, not thinking about it. I was thinking, hey, it's in front of a window, it's warm in here, it's very humidified in here, this plant will go great. No, I think that's how my snakes got mites, which I'm not 100% sure. I have friends that work at pet stores, maybe they handled them, but I'm not sure. But whatever you do, if you do bring a new snake into your home or anything like that, quarantine them at least for a couple weeks, just to make sure they don't have mites or anything. If you have any other questions, I'm not a herpetologist, I'm not a vet, this is just from personal experience. If you have any other questions, I'd be glad to help you, so just write me a comment and I'll definitely let you know. Thanks.